Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another episode where we review a car that we've just completed. Don't go anywhere because we're about to reveal a transformation on this E30 that's gonna shock you guys. We had to change the fenders, we changed the valance, we added the plastic bumper stiffener, we added the plastic bumper set of beadings and the famous Alpina lip. That automatically allows you to have the 3-5i front.
Do you think there is life on other planets? Well, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose there would be.
Okay guys, so behind me is possibly one of the coolest 3-3 E30s in the country. And I say coolest because this car started off its life as a very plain one owner Chamonix beige E30 chrome bumper. And when I say 3-3, if you've been watching my videos before, you know that a 3-3 is a chrome bumper. This is not a chrome bumper because this car has been completely transformed and it's got a little bit of a story behind it. So let me take you guys back to last year. My good buddy and car spotter Lukman in Cape Town managed to find me this clean one owner 3-3 E30 which looked like this. When I got the car, I was so blown away by the originality. I mean, even the steering wheel is original. It had the steering wheel cover, it had a blanket on the dashboard, a blanket in the boot, and that told me a story about the car, that the car was owned by an elderly gentleman. Initially I bought the car to keep in my collection, and I used the car for about a month and a half and decided to sell it, purely because you guys know whenever I need to buy another car, I always sacrifice one of my cars that I love, however I'm not in love with. So this car I tried to sell a few times. To be honest with you, the car never sold, and the feedback I got is that it's the perfect spec, but everyone's looking for a plastic bumper 3-5. So that got me thinking about, if I intend to sell the car, I need to transform the car to make it more sellable. So what I decided to do is plastic bumper conversion, and initially I was going to keep the car the same color. I got approached by a client that was looking for a 3-5 at the time, and I told him, look, I don't have a 3-5, but I've got a 3-3 that I'm converting to look like a 3-5, doing a plastic bumper conversion. That is for sale. Back and forth discussions, client shook on it, agreed, and the car was sold. Client paid a deposit. The instruction from the client was, I don't like the color, let's change the color, let's do a few add-ons, etc. So then the client chose the color Marrakesh brown, which is one of the most awesome colors you can choose. I've previously painted this color on my VW bus. I did a two-tone color, which was the Mini Cooper pepper white at the bottom and the Marrakesh brown on the top, with the beige and brown interior, which personally is a lovely combo. I love the two colors together, it looks amazing. So anyway, fast forward, car is almost completed, and messaged the client for payment. Unfortunately, the client couldn't pay for the car, and we sat in a problem. Now what do I do? Because the car is completed, there's quite a large amount of money outstanding, and I needed to get my money back. Client sends his brother over to us, have a discussion, and unfortunately they can't pay me. So what do I do as a business owner? I need to sell the car to recover my money and also pay some of the monies back to the client. Now, you'll hear me mention on a lot of occasions my buddy KB. So KB recently bought a 3-5 from me, and we were in the process of restoring the car bit by bit. When KB came to visit me, he had a look at the car and he fell in love with the car because he couldn't believe that it's the same 3-3 that he had driven when I got it last year. So anyway, myself and KB got into a discussion. Long story short, I traded back the 3-5 and I resold him the 3-3 with the cash difference, and now KB has one of the coolest 3-3s in the country. So that's the whole story behind this car. The reason why I'm mentioning it to you guys is because if you are to get into this business, that is some of the risks that you face. You will get certain clients that are able to pay you, and you will get clients that when the project is done, they don't pay you, which puts you and your business in a situation. But you always got to be resilient to try and get yourself out of the situation. Hence me doing a deal with KB on his other E30 and selling the car. Okay, now we come to the fun part. I want to show you guys how we did the plastic bumper conversion. So if you guys look at the front end, you'll notice that we had to change the fenders, we changed the valance, we added the plastic bumper stiffener, we added the plastic bumper set of beadings and the famous Alpina lip. That automatically allows you to have the 3 to 5i front. Now we come to my next favorite part, which is the wheel choice. So initially the client that purchased the car wanted a set of stepped up bottle caps. Due to the non-payment issue, I decided not to step the wheels up and put the standard bottle caps or play around with some wheel options. I put the Alpinas on, and I say Alpina because this is probably one of the nicest Alpina wrap sets on the market. It's one of my favorite wrap wheels. Nothing wrong with wrap wheels. You go with what you can afford and you go with what looks good on your car. So I put the set of wheels on. I had the lips polished and I had the centers repainted in a hyper silver. Now you'll notice that the car does sit low. However, I never go with the conventional stretch tire route. The reason for that is because I didn't want to slam the car too low. So we went with the 40mm drop all round, and the tire size in question is 215/40/17. So there's two reasons for that. Is that I wanted the drive quality to be a bit better, and secondly, I didn't want to lower the car too much because I wanted the tire to fill a bit more of the gap between the wheels. And you guys know that wheel gap is not a good thing. We're against wheel gap here. So the larger profile tire helps with that. Okay, now we come to the exciting part, which is the rear, where you actually see the plastic bumper conversion. So what we did is we followed our normal formula. Instead of cutting out the rear section, we basically cut where the taillights are and refabricated with metal the shape of the plastic bumper rear valance or rear section. We did this as well with the rear panel under the number plate, and to keep in with the 3 to 5 look, we put a long prestige plate. So your prestige plate is basically the plastic backing at the back, and we put a set of plastic bumper taillights. Now there's an interesting part that a lot of people don't know about, right? So your shaping here at the bottom between a chrome bumper and a plastic bumper is totally different. When you look at the chrome bumper, your spare wheel protrudes more. When you look at the plastic bumper, you don't see your spare wheel so much. So instead of us cutting the complete section of the rear from a plastic bumper, we actually used metal and refabricated this part and extended it to cover the spare wheel well, to give that 3 to 5 look. Now there is a suggestion I'm going to make to KB. This is the standard 3 to 3 double pipes. The car tones nice, the car sounds nice. However, the only thing that's missing to make it have the full on 3 to 5 look is a larger set of tailpipes. So that is coming in future, as well as a exhaust and set of branches that will completely change the tone of the car. I want to show you guys something else, right? Now if you know your E30s very well, you'll know that this was a chrome bumper just by the beadings. So the normal plastic bumper beadings don't have the chrome piece in the beading. The chrome bumper beadings has the chrome piece in the beading, and the whole point of that was to tie with all the chrome accessories on the car. So that's a tip I taught you guys today. I hope it helps. Let's move to the interior, because that's an interesting story.
Do you indeed think that there is life on other planets? Do you think there's life on other planets? No, I don't know.
Now, initially, the seats were in an okay condition. They were just faded. However, due to the condition of the door panels are in immaculate condition. I said let's leave the door panels and let us recover the seats. So we recover the seats in a bonded leather, not a genuine leather but a bonded leather, which is what they use for sofas, just to give it a bit more of a Napa leather effect. We kept with the original stitching, the original design. The carpets are original, the roof liner is original, the door panels is original. We did however put in a recon dash, and we are still waiting for a cubby lock to arrive and a few small odds and ends for the car to complete it. I want to show you guys something. I mentioned it earlier in the video. This is the original steering wheel cover that the first owner had. I didn't want to take it off. I thought I'll keep it because it reminds us of the first owner, obviously. And I mentioned before in my videos, this is actually a steering wheel that comes a lot on the 323s and the 333s, so it's a very iconic steering. They haven't picked up in value as much as the MTech 1 and the MTech 2, but they will be picking up in value very, very soon. So this is a steering wheel to buy as soon as the supply demand gets affected negatively for the MTech 1 and the MTech 2. These are the steerings that are going to go up in value. Overall, the car is very clean. It drives amazing. It's got an auto gearbox. Standard, the 323 comes with the LSD diff as well. Why I like the 323s is because a lot of them have never been abused and a lot of them come in auto. So a tip from me to you, if you are looking to buy a E30, normally the auto ones are the cleaner ones as compared to the manual ones, and they are not as expensive as the manual ones. And a lot of the times when I bought auto E30s, I converted them to manual, and it's a better option. It saves you a lot of money, and also autos are not as abused as what a manual E30 is. So that's a tip from me. Now I want to show you guys something cool as well. So I always mention that I look at the small things on an E30, right? So this car's got all its original factory glass, including the factory windscreen. So that tells me a lot about the type of life that this car lived. And also, majority of the times you'll find that the beadings are in bad condition. This car's beadings are near perfect. Overall, it's a beautiful car. It's a fully spec 323 with a factory sunroof. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the color? Do you think we could have gone with a different wheel choice? Also, would you have done this to a 323 to make it more sellable? Let us know your comments down below. Looking forward to hearing from you guys, and I hope you guys like this one. I personally love the way it looks. I can't stop staring at this car. Every time I look at this car, I feel like I want a slab of chocolate. I don't know about you guys. So yeah, it's a beautiful car, and I'm glad it's going to my buddy KB. Very nice guy. And why I'm glad it's going to my buddy KB, because he's a very undercover guy. He doesn't like flashy cars. He doesn't like anything flashy. He likes to be that guy in the background. But this car is not very flashy, but it's gonna attract a lot of attention. And I'm anxious to see his reaction, because he's not the guy that likes the attention. And also, it's a nice thing that the car's being kept in our circle, and it's a car that's not going to be used often. So if ever he needs to sell it, the car can be passed on to the next person, and the car will have a longer lifespan. It's not always about selling the car. It's about preserving it and trying to get the car to have a longer lifespan. I'm super happy that this car is going to be able to continue for a very long time. I know it's going to be looked after, and I'm also proud to have said that we have been a part of this project. It's been an honor, and once again, thank you so much to all our followers. You guys are awesome. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please subscribe, share this video, let's blow it up. And I must also mention, shout out to Skid Marks. Guys, this is the link to their channel. Please go watch some of their videos. I love the fact that Skid Marks is keeping the car community together and giving businesses like us and a lot of other types of businesses a platform to showcase our work. Doesn't discriminate against any shops, is not involved in any industry beef, is not brand conscious when it comes to cars. So that is what we need, and we need a lot more of that. And also thank you so much for Skid Marks for stepping up and helping us shoot this video. Sean, you a legend. Thank you so much, brah. I can't thank you enough for helping us throughout this time. You a legend. How can I forget the guys that comment and interact with us? Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Have a lekker evening.